All right. Welcome back to another episode of the Black Bullion Show. Today, Frank Holmes is calling for $10,000 gold. Frank Holmes is the CEO of US Global Investors, and he just did an interview with Kitco News about a week ago, still kind of fresh, and not too much has changed in the world. So I think it is still good to talk about what he has said in this interview. So he gives some data to back up why he thinks gold could possibly hit 10,000 before you win this, what he calls World War III. Because I mean, honestly, it is hitting us like a world war, honestly. Um, so let's see what he says. What I do see is that the US will spend over $10 trillion, but the Senate and Trump and Congress will spend $5 trillion when this is finished. And we've seen the Federal Reserve also commit $5 trillion of expanding their balance sheet. So this is going to be unprecedented because the other G20s basically operate as a cartel. And there is a synchronization between all of them, all of the finance ministers and all of the central bankers. They're going to run zero interest rates. That's nominal. They're going to use every monetary weapon they have and every fiscal stimulus they can have. And this is going to create unprecedented growth in paper money. And what you're going to see is like 2008 and 9. Gold ran up and then it sold off. Then it hit a base and all of a sudden it started to march up as this money printing took place. And right now, short-term deflation, but we still have negative real interest rates. And that bodes well for gold. So I think gold can be easily $2,700 like palladium was last year. And it can be $5,000. I don't know where the money printing stops, but it could be $10,000. So he gives us a range, just like I've taught before. People have given their lower bounds, their averages, middle, or whatever, and their upper bounds. So he's got an lower bound 2,700, upper bound of 10,000, middle of the road is like 5,000. And he's saying that, and by the end of this, he actually isn't saying this in the same range that I gave of the whole bull market, or of the 2 to 5 years that Pierre Lassonde gives. He's basically saying by the end of this whole issue that we're going through, we could hit 2, 5, or 10,000. And he's basing this off of the monetary and fiscal stimulus. He's basing this off of historical performance of what we saw in 2009 and essentially the second bull market. And he's also basing this currently on the real negative interest rates that we're seeing. So he's got essentially 3 metrics to take a look at. And this is just a quick note. I didn't know who was in the G20 summit or in the G20, but the G20 is made up of 19 countries and the European Union. The 19 countries are Argentina, Australia, Brazil, Canada, China, Germany, France, India, Indonesia, Italy, Japan, Mexico, the Russian Federation, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, South Korea, Turkey, the UK, and the US of A. So all of these guys, in his opinion, act as a somewhat of a cartel, and they're looking to reduce rates, nominal rates, to zero, and basically get the money printing going, and basically launching us into massive negative real interest rates or lower real interest rates. So when that happens, I can definitely see what Frank Holmes is saying. And again, if we take a look at what the IMF has showed us, and the policy responses happening right now, with the with the issue of 193 countries that they're tracking. Let's take a look at what's happening in the UK. The UK for monetary and policies, they have reduced their bank rate by 65 points to 0.1%. 0.1. And just below this, we have the United States. Let's take a look at our monetary policy. We just like, you know what, F it. Let's just go all the way down by 150 basis points, and we are at 0 to 0.25 basis points. So just like Frank Holmes is saying, we're just trying to reduce these things as much as we can and get the printing presses going. And again, based off of historical performance, I have my own forecasting that I base off of historical performance as well. And I've called for roughly a very low bound of 2,600, which honestly, this is very close to what Frank Holmes called. He called 2,700, and I'm pretty close to 2,700 in my lower bound. As far as what I could see as an average of the percentage increases of the last two bull markets, I hit roughly around 1,700. And based off of if we perform like the first gold bull market in the 70s, then we could hit 2,600. So my range is a little bit wider than Frank's. But I'm surprised that my lower bound is similar to his lower bound. That's pretty wild. What do you guys think? Do you think that Frank is on the money? Do you think we'll be at 2,700 like Palladium last year? Do you think we'll be at 5,000? Do you think we'll be at 10,000 by the end of this issue, not necessarily the end of the bull market? Let me know in the comment section below. And again, thanks for watching this video. Please like the video. Please share it. Please subscribe to the channel if you are new. Thanks again. It's Black Bullion.